everyone, this is Ruchi Kulkarni. Let's do The Midnight Visitor, written by Robert Arthur, a chapter from your book of Class 10th, Footprints Without Feet. The Midnight Visitor. This interesting story is authored by Robert Arthur. It is about a detective named Ozable who got rid of his rival Max, applying his brain in a very serious situation. Max put him at the gunpoint and claimed the sensitive papers. However, Ozable got rid of the situation by applying extraordinary intelligence. Now, what he does, we can only come to know after reading this interesting story. So, in this session, let's read and understand the story, after which I will give you the significance of the title, the moral, summary in the written format, and the question answers. And as usual, all of you know that before I begin with the reading and explanation, I like to speak a few words about the author. So let's know something about Robert Arthur first. Robert Arthur Jr. was born on 10th November 1909 in Philippines. He was a writer of crime fiction, speculative fiction, and mystery fiction. He is known for his work with The Mysterious Traveler radio series and for writing The Three Investigators, which was a series of young adult novels. In 1959, he moved to Hollywood and began writing and editing screenplays and scripts for television shows. He also wrote script for Alfred Hitchcock's TV show titled Alfred Hitchcock Presents. He died on 2nd May 1969 in Pennsylvania, US at the age of 59. Ozable, a secret agent, is expecting to get a very important report. Another secret agent, Max, threatens him with a pistol, demanding the report. Does Ozable outwit him? Outwit means outsmart. This story has got three main characters. Ozable, who is a secret agent, Max is another secret agent, and Fowler is a writer who wants to write about spies or secret agents. Now, Ozable is expecting to get an important report, but on the other hand, another secret agent named Max comes to him and threatens him with a gun or a pistol to take that report. Now, in this story, by the end, we will know, does Ozable actually succeed in protecting that report from Max or not? And what idea does he apply? Let's read this chapter and this interesting story and know what happens in the end. Ozable did not fit any description of a secret agent Fowler had ever read. Following him down the musty corridor, musty means having damp smell, of the gloomy French hotel, gloomy means dark, where Ozable had a room, Fowler felt let down. Let down means disappointed. It was a small room on the 6th and top floor and scarcely a setting for a romantic adventure. Scarcely means almost not. Ozable was, for one thing, fat. Very fat. And then there was his accent. Accent is a distinctive way of pronouncing a language. Though he spoke French and German passably, passably means well enough, he had never altogether lost the American accent he had brought to Paris from Boston 20 years ago. You are disappointed, Ozable said wheezily over his shoulder. Wheezily means spoke with a heavy breathing noise. You were told that I was a secret agent, a spy dealing in espionage and danger. Espionage means spying. You wish to meet me because you are a writer, young and romantic. You envisioned mysterious figures in the night. Envisioned means imagined or visualized. The crack of pistols, drugs in the wine. Instead, you have spent a dull evening in a French music hall with a sloppy fat man. Sloppy means one who is carelessly dressed. instead of having messages slipped into his hand by dark-eyed beauties, gets only a prosaic telephone call. Prosaic means ordinary. Making an appointment in his room. You've been bored. The fat man chuckled to himself as he unlocked the door of his room. Chuckled means laughed quietly, and stood aside to let his frustrated guest enter. Ozebel, who was a secret agent, met a writer named Fowler. Now, as per the description of a secret agent, Ozebel did not fall into that category. But Fowler was with him. Fowler was following him down a very damp corridor of a French hotel where Ozebel had his room. Fowler thought that he was disappointed because he never thought a secret agent to be like that. Ozebel's room was a very small room. It was on the 6th and top floor of the hotel, and the setting of that room was not even romantic or not even very beautiful. Ozebel was very fat. He was very fat and he had that accent of English, though he spoke French and German quite well. But 20 years back, when he had come from Boston to Paris, he carried that American accent with him. Ozebel told Fowler that he must have been disappointed because he must not have expected a secret agent to be like him, who was dealing in spying and danger. While on the other hand, Fowler was a writer who was young and very romantic. Fowler must have imagined a secret agent to be, a figure in the dark, who must be carrying pistols, who must be dealing with drugs and the wine. But instead, Fowler had to spend an evening in a French music hall with a boring man like Ozebel. Ozebel himself told him that he must have expected that there would be beautiful ladies who would come and slip some messages in his hand. On the other hand, Ozebel had got a very ordinary telephone call making an appointment in his room. So, Ozebel thought that Fowler must have been really bored with him. As Ozebel was speaking all this to Fowler, they both entered Ozebel's room, and Ozebel left the door open so that the frustrated guest, in other words, Fowler, could enter his room. You are disillusioned. Disillusion means disappointed in someone. Ozebel told him, but take cheer, my young friend. Presently you will see a paper, a quite important paper for which several men and women have risked their lives, come to me. Someday, soon that paper may well affect the course of history. In that thought is drama. Is there not? As he spoke, Ozebel closed the door behind him. Then he switched on the light. And as the light came on, Fowler had his first authentic thrill of the day. Authentic means genuine or true. For halfway across the room, a small automatic pistol in his hand, stood a man. Ozebel blinked a few times. Max, he wheezed. You gave me quite a start. You gave me quite a start means you surprised me. I thought you were in Berlin. What are you doing here in my room? Max was slender, a little less than tall, with features that suggested slightly the crafty, pointed countenance of a fox. Slender means thin, crafty means cunning, and countenance means facial expressions. There was about him, aside from the gun, nothing specially menacing. Menacing means threatening. The report, he murmured. Murmured means said something in a low voice. The report that is being brought to you tonight concerning some new missiles. I thought I would take it from you. It'll be safer in my hands than in yours. Ozebel told Fowler that he must have been disappointed in him. But he told him to cheer up because very soon he will get some papers, and those were important papers for which several men and women were risking their lives. They were ready to die to get those papers. And those papers were supposed to come to Ozebel. Those papers, Ozable felt, were supposed to affect the course of history, and that would create a lot of drama. And as Ozable spoke all this, he switched on the light. The moment he switched on the light, Fowler got his first genuine thrill of the day. He saw another man standing with a pistol. He was halfway into the room. Ozable recognized the other person. He was Max. Max was a very thin, tall person, and his facial expressions looked very cunning, just like a fox. He had a gun with him, but except that gun, there was nothing threatening about his personality. Max told Ozable that he had come there to get those same papers. Those papers were concerning some new missiles, and that is why he had come there to threaten him to take them away. Ozable moved to an armchair and sat down heavily. I am going to raise the devil with the management this time. Raise the devil means make a noisy disturbance. And you can bet on it, he said grimly. Grimly means seriously. This is the second time in a month that somebody has got into my room through that nuisance of a balcony. Nuisance means inconvenience. Fowler's eyes went to the single window of the room. It was an ordinary window, against which now the night was pressing blackly. The night was pressing blackly means the night was going darker. Balcony? Max said with a rising inflection. Inflection is a sudden change in the tone. No, a pass key. Pass key means a master key. I did not know about the balcony. It might have saved me some trouble had I known. It's not my balcony, Ozable said with extreme irritation. It belongs to the next apartment. He glanced explanatorily at Fowler. Glanced explanatorily means looked to explain at Fowler. You see, he said, this room used to be a part of a large unit, and the next room, through that door there, used to be the living room. It had a balcony, which extends under my window now. You can get onto it from the empty room 2 doors down, and somebody did last month. The management promised to block it off, but they haven't. Max glanced at Fowler, who was standing stiffly not far from Ozable. Stiffly means not in a very friendly manner, and waved the gun with a commanding gesture. Gesture means a wave. Please sit down, he said. We have a wait of half an hour, I think. 31 minutes, Ozable said moodily. The appointment was for 12:30. I wish I knew how you learned about the report, Max. On seeing Max, Ozable was not threatened. He was not scared. He quietly sat onto an armchair. He told that he will raise an alarm with the management next time because this was the second time in a month that somebody had come into his room through that balcony. Fowler's eyes saw that there was just a single window of the room, and it was an ordinary window. It did not look like a balcony. To this, Max again said that he entered the room with the help of a master key. He did not know about the balcony. After that, Ozable tried to explain about the balcony. The balcony actually did not belong to him. It belonged to the next apartment. He explained that that room used to be a part of a large unit. There was another room, and that used to be a living room which had a balcony. That balcony extended under Ozable's room's window now. And now if someone had to escape, then one could easily just jump into that one of the empty rooms 2 doors down and he could escape. Ozable tried to mention that he had filed a complaint with the management to block it off, but the management had not done anything on it. Max looked at Fowler. Fowler did not look very friendly because he was scared as well. Max waved his gun towards Fowler and told him to sit because he told that there was another half an hour to wait. Ozable told them that it was exactly 31 minutes because the appointment at which they were supposed to get the papers was 12:30. And he wished to know how Max came to know about that report. The little spy smiled evilly. Evilly means morally wrong. The little spy here means Max. And we wish we knew how your people got the report. But no harm has been done. I will get it back tonight. What is that? Who's at the door? Fowler jumped at the sudden knocking at the door. Ozable just smiled. That will be police, he said. I thought that such an important paper as the one we are waiting for should have a little extra protection. I told them to check on me to make sure everything was all right. Max bit his lip nervously. The knocking was repeated. What will you do now, Max? Ozable asked. If I did not answer the door, they will enter anyway. The door is unlocked, and they will not hesitate to shoot. Max's face was black with anger as he backed swiftly towards the window. Backed means stepped backwards. Swiftly means fast. He swung a leg over the sill. Send them away, he warned. I will wait on the balcony. Send them away or I will shoot and take my chances. The knocking at the door became louder and a voice was raised. Mr. Ozable? Mr. Ozable! When Ozable asked Max how he got to know about the papers, Max, on the other hand, wanted to tell Ozable that he will get those papers anyhow. But then suddenly there was a knock at the door. Fowler was surprised, but Ozable smiled and he told everyone that this could be police. He had already called the police just in case to have a little extra protection because those papers were very important. And he had told the police to check on him whether everything was all right or not. Max became really nervous. Now Ozable asked Max what he would do if he did not answer the door. The police will definitely enter the room and they will shoot him. Max was so angry. He wanted to protect himself, and in the manner to protect himself, he went towards the window. He kept one leg outside the window. He told Ozable to quickly send them away or he will shoot everyone. And just then, there was another knocking at the door and someone from outside called to Mr. Ozable. Keeping his body twisted so that his gun still covered the fat man and his guest. Fat man means Mr. Ozable and his guest means Fowler. The man at the window grasped the frame with his free hand to support himself. The man at the window here is Max. Grasped means caught. Then he swung his other leg up and over the window sill. The doorknob turned. Swiftly Max pushed with his left hand to free himself from the sill and drop to the balcony. And then as he dropped, he screamed once, shrilly. Shrilly means in high pitch, and sill is the frame of the window. The door opened, and a waiter stood there with a tray, a bottle, and 2 glasses. Here is the drink you ordered for when you returned, he said, and set the tray on the table. Deftly uncorked the bottle and left the room. Deftly means skillfully. Uncorked means to pull out the cork or the lid. White-faced Fowler stared after him. But he stammered. Stammered means spoke with pauses. The police? There were no police. Ozable sighed. Only Henry, whom I was expecting. Henry is the name of that waiter. But won't that man out on the balcony? Fowler began. No, said Ozable. He won't return. You see, my young friend, there is no balcony. Max, who was already on the sill of the window, his half body outside the window, he twisted his body, he pointed his gun towards Mr. Ozable and Fowler, and he tried to support himself with his hand. He took out his other leg also out of the window, and just then the doorknob turned, means the door was just about to open, and seeing that, in fear, that Max feared that it must have been police, he jumped out of that window. He expected that there would be a balcony, but then when he dropped, there was a scream. There was a high pitched scream of that man. The door of the room opened and a waiter came inside with a tray, bottle, and two glasses. The waiter opened the bottle and left. Fowler did not understand this. He kept staring, white faced. White faced means an expression of fear on his face. He expected police to be there, but when he asked, Ozable replied that there were no police. He hadn't called the police. In fact, he was expecting this waiter whose name was Henry. Then Fowler asked Ozable, what about the man who was on the balcony? Ozable said that there was no balcony outside the window and that man will never return. So this last part of the story shows the quick intelligence or wit of Ozable as he took advantage of the situation and made Max nervous, due to which he jumped out of the window without thinking and looking down. He had jumped from the top floor of the hotel, expecting that there would be a balcony, but there was no balcony there and he would have possibly died. So this is how Ozable outwitted Max and saved himself from a very dangerous situation and also saved those important papers on missile. So in all, this story tells us that the looks of Ozable were very deceptive. He did not look like a secret agent though, but he had a very clever mind. His intelligence was out of the world. The title, The Midnight Visitor, means a person who visits at night time. In this story, the visitor is Max, who visits Ozable's room at night time. Ozable was expecting some important papers and Max was there to collect them at the gunpoint. Taking advantage of the night time, Ozable weaved a story of a balcony adjoining his window. But in reality, there was no balcony. This in itself plays a big reason in the death of Max and in protection of those important papers which Ozable had. And therefore I feel that the title, The Midnight Visitor, is very apt, appropriate and suitable for this story. The Midnight Visitor gives a very important message which should be applied in our daily life. Being calm and composed is one of the greatest natures of human beings. We will have to face lots of challenges in the journey of life. And life is always full of challenges. But if we lose our mind, we will not be able to get rid of the situation. In this story, Ozable also kept his mind cool and overcame this grave situation. And that is what we must learn. We should follow this and apply in our own lives. Coming up next is summary and question answers pertaining to this chapter. I'll see you again in my next video. That's all in this session. And till then, take very good care of yourself. Keep smiling. God bless you. Thank you very much.